public, so we decided to do quarterly reports across the globe that could receive both, and it's good to have here on the audience both general public and VCs and the team. So also doing quarterly reports across the globe is to have new team members. So I will just ask every Nash member to raise their hand so you guys see who they are. So quite a few Nash members here. So every quarterly report we do this thing where we try to bring every new employee to meet us and see how we are, that we are really real, not digital, and you know, we do have a lot of people spread across the globe, and that's a nice way to bring them together as the company. And I actually want to focus about the company on these presentations, and that's why we call it performance in payments. When we presented this the first time 2 years ago, it was very bold, and thank you for everyone who believed in us. And I want to show what we have achieved in this time, how we have grown, and where we are right now. So let's start. So the thing that I wanted to say, what is performance for us? So is this nice phrase from Winston Churchill is, however beautiful the strategy, you should occasionally measure the results, right? So we are not here just to build software. We are here to build profitable business and with scale possibilities, right? So it doesn't matter if it's the best technology in the world if nobody uses it. And we are trying to make something that people do use it. So it's about delivery, it's about execution. So I will focus on execution. When we started Nash, we had this big goal of being the actual company that will build non-custodial technology for masses. So this means actually going after a lot of cliches in the industry, and I will talk about a little bit of these cliches here. And the thing is, when we did that, we were 10 people, 15 people maybe, and we had about $37 million, and we are going against companies that have been 5 to 6 years in the market, had 400 people and $500 million. So how we can actually outrun and outsmart these people, and I think it's all about not embracing the cliches, it's actually challenging the innovation inside the field. So a lot of people take the perspective that blockchain in itself is disruptive, and what we are trying to do is actually disrupt blockchain, and I think we get there. So I'll talk in 4 topics here and end with an update on payments. So the 4 tops are people and processes, then technical development, legal and business, which I think we are leaders in the industry, even when compared with Facebook or so on. I think we are leading them. Customer and community experience, which is something we are scaling right now. And we just have here our first support employee, for example. He was hired a few months ago, and we have been scaled that part. Claire is leading the customer experience. I think we are doing great there also. So people in processes. I want to start with people in processes before going technical development, because even though I'm an engineer, I used to work really close to here in Cambridge as a research engineer. I do think people is the most important thing in the company, and related to people is the processes that we implement. So I want to give an update here on what we have changed the process to enable us to grow. So we were from 15 to 20 to 25 people, and there was stuff that worked at that size, especially when you consider that Nash is a distributed team. So make no mistake, we know there is a risk to have people spread across the globe in different time zones, not in the same office. So it's very important for me as one of the founders and as the person in charge of the business, how we actually make this team work. And now how this scale from 25 people to 400 people. So we did a big reorganization of the company, and actually most of the new employees would not even know we worked different before, but I will talk about this because this was one of the changes on the core. So we changed the teams from capability teams to product teams. So capability teams is like back-end team, front-end team, legal team. So this works very well when you're small and you can have everybody in the same call. But when you start to grow, when you have 22 countries, as we do now, then you need to take care of that. The way we did that is we created product teams. So for example, we have trading team, we have funds and settlement team, and these teams, they are time zone bounded. So there's a manager for each team, or a technical lead, as I would call. For example, Tom is the technical lead for settlement and funds, and everybody who's working together on that is on time zone slides from the world. Just gonna show the update there. And then we like, okay, so now that we have product teams, how do we manage this? So we did a first test, very first small test of a product team, which was Tim and Alan working together on the exchange, and that worked very well. And we look at that, what worked there, and Tim was actually using species I would call of Scrum. So what we did is what we try to do in our company. We listened to the engineers and tried to learn. So we implemented a variation of that method plus some things of extreme programming, which is testing-based workflow, because of course we are exchange, so there can be no hacks, all that stuff. So we are trying to implement something that consistently shipping software every fixed timeline, that this software can be tested or can be guaranteed to be stable. So at the end of each sprint, which is the unit in the Scrum, we are creating new tags, so we are creating new releases, and these releases go through our QA process. So when we're going to present the dates today is because we just had yesterday a tag, which is 0.5 tag of the software that I Q&A and Sam Q&A and a few others, and we look at, can these meet these goals that we are going to present or not? And our goal after that is that actually every iteration will follow the same thing. So this is what we call possible releasable increments. So now every bi-weekly, so constantly every 2 weeks, we will cut a new possible releasable increment. And that will be deployed or not. We hope with this strategy and a real focus on customer experience, and I'm going to remind later how that works for us. But we hope that with this strategy, we can outrun the competition, and even though being more nimble, I would say, we can deliver bigger innovations from them. And I think actually we are already delivering bigger innovations in the sense that we are non-custodian and we believe to have the same user experience. So with that, I would say whatever we present today and whatever we promise today, be sure it will be improving and changing every 2 weeks. So the restructuring is followed by growth because we are preparing for growth, right? So I'm showing here the previous team, how they were, based on capabilities that I was telling, and how is the new teams together and the number of new employees in this quarter. So currently we have about 4 years of bankroll for our runaway, our current runaway, and that's enough to still sustain marginal growth here. And we expect by releasing the product and having income, we can actually increase more. And this structure will allow us to at least double in size without needing to do another restructure. Okay, so execution for management should be reflected on execution of technical. So if you do restructuring, if you have teams, it should come out in products releases, in new products, in things. And that's what execution looked at for us in this quarter. So the second generation of our protocol is now ready, and we always say we're gonna ship things when they are ready. So we're gonna ship it, and the second generation of protocol is something that we announced it to the world in our first anniversary call, where we decided to not release on September or at the end of 2018 what we had, given the market conditions and given the customer experience that we had. And instead, we actually embarked in a big structural change on the matching engine. So this has a completely different protocol and is much safer. So the reason we decided to do that is because we increased the safety a lot. We also defined the minimum viable product user experience about 2 months ago when we did a series of betas with our community. That's also fully implemented. The current running sprint and the next sprint will be fully focused on quality assurance. So here we're talking about bugs, missing implementation. So I don't know, maybe there is a link there that's broken that should link to the terms and conditions. So this is things that quality assurance will pay. And then design Q&A, which is visual mismatches between design and implementation. And one thing that we measure, that we have been measuring since we did this reorganization, is velocity. So velocity is how fast can you burn through your backlog of issues and planned developments. And I'm very happy to say and congratulate the team here that we have been increasing velocity. We have burned on the first sprint only 40 of weight on issues, and I'm going after each issue and reassigning weights. And just on the current sprint, we have been burning at least in 1 week 140 of weight. So we more than 5x the output of the team with all the changes we did, which is, I think, is how with 50 people, 60 people, we're gonna be able to beat people with 400. And that reflects on our MVP. So our MVP, we define it as the funds management tool, which can be seen as a non-custodial wallet for several chains. The chains that we have focused is Ethereum, Bitcoin, and NEO for the wallet part. Then we have a decentralized exchange protocol that is tied together with the funds management. So even though it's a decentralized exchange, it has a very familiar user interface and user experience because there's a wallet attached to the product. So you don't need another wallet to talk to the decentralized exchange. And then the fiat and off ramps marketplace. So this is how do we sanitize and how do we have API system and a front-end system that can talk with different partners. And for example, we onboarded one person here, which is Christopher Lloyd, which is here, and he has been leading the implementation of that. Yes, we do have dark mode. It's amazing. You talk, oh, we just developed 1 million lines of decentralized code, and people will ask you, yeah, but do you have dark mode? So we do. And we are releasing this to mainnet 8 of 8. So I think this is the slide every investor has been waiting, which is when things come online. So on the 8 of 8, we're gonna do a mainnet launch of our MVP product. That will be closed for Q&A on the 8 of 8. So we'll do migration testing with the current users we have. So we have received thousands of users on the referral program that we have been running, and we need to do migration tests. On the next Monday, on 12 of 8, we already start the next iteration of user testing. So we have always said that our development is a user-centered design methodology. So we always design with the user, implement, and go back to the user and say, how do you experience these things? And not only listen to them, we test them. So they use and we look what you did. And we're gonna use the community again here, and we're gonna invite some of our investors. Actually, all the investors here are invited to participate on this. On the 22 of 8, we will close the referral site that's currently live, do the data migration of all these users. So every referral user now will be automatically a user of the MVP system, of the exchange and the funds management. This is about 50,000 people today. And on the 23 of 8, this will be live and available to everyone publicly. Internally, our goal for the team has been 8 of 8. So I do know some people here will be breathing easier now that they know that public. But as we are registered security, it's important to never tell them. Yeah. So even though we are small, we are bringing this big product in this time frame that we did. I think it's amazing. I have only to say thank you for the team. on Q3 and Q4, how do we continue to execute? And this is something I actually want to take a stop here, is 2 points. At least for now, that's all our research has indicated, which is we are starting the engineering of our second generation authentication protocol. And this may sound a little bit crazy for some people here, but there's another big cliche. So the first one we attacked is DEXs are slow. DEXs have worse user experience. So we said, no, there's nothing in the math. You know, if you know mathematics, there's nothing in the mathematics that says that. So it's not provable, so it means it can be done. Another thing that's a cliche and is wrong in crypto right now is people saying that if you have a private key, you control funds. That's actually not true. If you go and look deeper in the math, you're going to discover that what the Bitcoin network or any other blockchain network is doing is verifying if a signature it received is valid or not. How you generate a valid signature depends on which method you use. The easiest, the classical way to do it is using a secret that in the blockchain space has been known as private key. But actually, you can use different protocols, you can use different methodologies to generate valid signatures. And this is where we are going after here. What we're going to use is two technologies, secure multi-party computation and homomorphic encryption. Using these two technologies, we can actually replace the usual private keys with protocols of interactions that will allow two main things for you. One, you'll be able to share your account with someone. So if your beloved one want to access your account, you'll be able to do so. But not everybody trusts their beloved one that much. So you'll be able to attach features to a key. And that's the most powerful thing. You will be able to say, this person can access my account without Nash having any control, and they can only spend this amount. This is all possible with MPC and homomorphic encryption. Then, in parallel to this, so the team that will take this is a new team that we are building on together with Ethan and team. And the team that will take the protocol is the is Stone's team that has been working on settlement and funds for NEO and Ethereum, and they're gonna be focused on the Bitcoin protocol. So a few months back, we took at the same cliche. People were saying it's impossible to build a DEX for Bitcoin. And we said, we are engineers. And how can it be that Bitcoin is valued 80 or 60% of the whole market, and it's not possible to build the fundamental technology that this same market needs? So the approach we take is to try to think a little bit off the box and see what actual security features can we do. So when you do a protocol, you build something that's called a thread model, and you see under which attack circumstances is your protocol secure. And we decided, where can we make changes to this thread model that would give us the flexibility to have Bitcoin trading protocols. We do have that specification internally, and we're going to be engineering and focusing on this protocol for Q3 and Q4. So these are two big changes, as bold as what we are bringing in less than a month, but I'm sure this is doable. One, because I know the math, and I know my team, so it's amazing that our small organization is going to deliver this. Legal in business is another thing that maybe we are too bold, but who cares? We said we would do security, and we did, and nobody else did after us. We are, to this day, the only public offering of a digital security. And I thank you very much to the regulators that help us to do that, and our banking and legal partners that will not review ever because the harassment will be so big because they managed to do this. And together with the same team that managed to do this thing, Fabian has been working on to do new amazing things. And the first amazing thing is that this system on 23 of 8, we will have US support for several states, including the state of Massachusetts. This is what's available now, today. We have already started work for every single state of US, but every state has a different path to go through and different requirements. And I myself have been writing so many business plans for each of these different requirements. It's amazing that, again, our small company is doing that, and people that call themselves leaders of their markets are just blocking the whole country because they have not been able to get a single state. So we're going to continue to try to lead in legal, and I think this will be a differentiator, not in the long path, because in the long path everyone is going to be doing that, but in the next few months we will allow us to breathe deeper. And with the same thing that allows us to do that, we are happy to announce the first stablecoin market in Europe. So there's several problems on providing stablecoin markets in Europe, and we're going to do so using, again, innovative technology. And what I say stablecoin markets in Europe is European users will be able to enter in Nash, go to the advanced exchange, see another book, pick on their other book, put limited orders, execute as if they are in a global market. The differences there are proprietary, and I'm not going to tell you. At least not for now. Maybe in Q4 we tell when other people do it also and say, oh, that's how we do. Nash Fiat ramps. So have partnered with the biggest credit card processor in the world, WorldPay. So they are the biggest acquirer of credit card payments in the world, about $1.3 trillion past year. And it's amazing to have partners like this with Nash. And Nash Fiat ramps will be launched starting with Europe. And when I say Nash Fiat ramps is you will be buying and selling crypto to Nash directly. That's a very important feature for Nash Pay, which is our payment solution. And we will be supporting credit card from global. Also in Nash Pay, and this I'm not going to review the partner, but we're going to be able to also do directly cross-border fiat to merchants. So this series of execution in legal is something that I was calling as a big surprise, because what this means is whenever someone buys an asset using Nash Pay in crypto, Nash will be able to settle that crypto to fiat and do a transfer of fiat to the merchant. The way we're going to do that is we're going to use global FX markets and use a bank out solution of a partner, and it's called partner. They're going to send on our behalf the fiat to the merchant. And we are very happy to be working with them. Currently, I think they support 192 countries, but I don't know if this will be available in every country, so it's we're going to announce this later and limit later. But as special focus for us in this first moment is Europe and US. So yes, Europe and US will be the first place. Europe available as soon as implementation is finished, and US is still this year will be coming online. We have continued to work on de-risking the business. So currently we have 2 subsidiaries in the US. We have started a relationship with a service company in Switzerland, and we are continuing to build legal infrastructure to de-risk our business, especially with the increased regulatory pressure. So a lot of people has been saying that Facebook is a gift to the crypto community because they are bringing crypto to the face of 2 billion people, but at the same time they are putting increased pressure in regulators and how to do these things, and they may be moving in directions that we did not foresee, or that was not what was told before, because Facebook is a very big player that a lot of people don't like. So we decided to start to accelerate also the de-risking of our business to guarantee our operations. Then to finish on execution, customer and community experience. this is something that we need to focus on live. So whenever we are operational, this will be absolutely focused from the remainder of the team that's not working on the authentication or is not working on the Bitcoin protocol. We will be building and refining the community and customer experience around the app. So we just started We Are Nash community program, and that will be continuing to go on the community for a while. So this is a series of videos with people from the community speaking on their own languages, on their own locations, to tell why they are Nash and why they are part of this movement that Nash is. Because Nash is not only a company, it's a community, and we are very proud of that. I think it's a very important component of this. Also together with 23 of 8 is a video strategy that will be released. It's very focused on launch. It's composed by a series of videos that will be running across different platforms with a special focus on YouTube. As you all know, YouTube is a very good crypto presence. It's very popular to people to seek for information on YouTube, and we can focus on a video strategy there. Our initial focus on our initial market is crypto users. So we believe that we are providing something that has very clear benefit to crypto users. So it's a much easier customer to acquire in these initial months. We do not expect that in the first 3 months of operations we're going to be breaking even, especially because the Bitcoin protocol is very important for liquidity on crypto markets. So if you look at crypto markets, the biggest movers of liquidity and volume is Bitcoin, and we believe that this is a component that needs to be there so that we break even. But at the same time, we can start acquiring these users that are already familiar with our benefits. We have already released and is testing and improving live chat and AI bot. So if you go to nash.io today, you can talk to support live. And if not live, there will be an AI bot responding. Claire and Daniel have been doing a great work of mapping out the questions, and we have been improving the AI to a point that I believe up to 40% of the questions have been successfully answered today. So that's a huge improvement on the speed of response and on the satisfaction for users, and we want to bring this to much higher levels. And we have started also a localization program. Localization is, we do believe we understand this market, and as such, I can make a guess that the place we have the most chance of winning first is developing countries, so let's say Latin America, Africa, Southeast Asia. So for us to have a strong presence there, even though we are focusing legally in Europe and US, what we're gonna do is start a localization program and be very localized to these regions. It's easy porque eu falo português, então eu posso fazer português pro Brasil, and we're gonna do like that. Portuguese, I can do Portuguese, and people who speak other languages in our team, and there's people who speak almost every language in our team, will be helping and will be leaders in localizing for different countries. So it's kind of, we have these places represented in our company, and we're gonna try to take advantage of that. Finally, so that's performance for us, and I hope you guys are as happy as I am on the amount of execution that has been happening. Again, I'm very surprised that I used to work on oil and gas business, and in 2 years we would be still designing the project. So to have built so much is amazing. NashPay, as I was telling you on the legal, we have really good breaks on legal. Partnered with the banks to allow us to do fiat on and off ramp in Europe, and very good leads on US, bank out for global, all these things, and we believe NashPay is an important component for us in terms of user retention. It's very cheap for us actually to operate NashPay, so it may be an important source of revenues in the future, but it's not our goal to bring revenue through Nash Pay right now, but it's actually a way to retain users to be daily users of Nash. And it's a very important and very effective way to actually have these people on the pockets, right? So people who have Nash on their pockets for payments much more likely than for trading. It's very small percentage of people who actually is active trading on mobile. But mobile is the platform of the future, especially if we go on our vision of digital banking in 5 to 10 years. For us to be in a leading position there, we need to be adopted by those users, and that's why we are going to Nash Pay. So on the mobile strategy, we'll be starting on 5 of 8, so I think 1 week from now, we'll be starting our first user interview process. So again, on our user-centric design, we have a design today, we have a plan of features and so on, and we're going to start to do the interviews and iterate on that and invite people and continue to increase that. On 23 of 8, we actually release app on both Android and iOS. The initial configuration of this app is KYC. So this will be focused on the KYC part. So when you enter on our exchange, depending on the volume that you want to do, you need to do KYC. And this is what this release is. Then we're going to continue to grow this team, which we just established, and Chris Hager is leading. And this team will be working to release mobile wallet, then add the payment features, and then the simplified trading features. All this is planned to come online still this year. Tying back to all that discussion about private keys and MPC, we'll be using the mobile app as one core component on this strategy, which is using the secure enclave to actually participate on the authentication system of Nash and allow even more secure form of accounts on our system. So again, we are bringing this non-custodial form, trying to mimic the user experience that people have in the banks today. And of course, we are hiring. We continue to hire and look for great people. We are looking very specific positions right now, especially in Sec DevOps, security, and developer operations. And Tom was telling me we need more Bitcoin engineers also, so we are hiring Bitcoin engineers. And that's it. Let's have a break, drink some water, and do a Q&A. Then everybody will be invited to make 3 questions for us. Thank you very much.